Chat, I think it might be time. There we go. I paused my 2-on-2 run to be here, part 2. What's up, Lynx? What's up, Rose, if you're still here? Hope you guys are having a good night so far. So, I have us already a good bit into Lazy Day. Not gonna lie, I feel you on that. My tea order finally came today. Big snow plus throat feeling fishy. My throat hasn't been feeling too good either. So I had some of that tea that just showed up, as well as some honey, and I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. I'm not a tea person, really. Really not. But it's not bad. Hopefully that means that the rest of their stock is as good, though, because I'm probably gonna have to check out another couple of flavors before I fully feel content with them. But yeah, no. We are a good bit into a Poise team run. I'm not gonna lie, Pinky Sinclair, kind of a W. He's pretty good. He's a little bit finicky with his Moonlight Azure Blade, but he can have some really good DPS and just general potential. I'm very excited to see how Rien performs once he's out in full. But we'll probably get to the end of floor 5, and that's when we'll move on over to Distortion Detective and other stuff. Let's put you there and you there. Every time I draw my sword, I grow stronger. I drew it while sleeping, I drew it while in class, I even drew it while bathing. Hey yo. Let's just check that. Ooh, fuck yeah. Good eco gift. Order Moth. Give me the battle. Give me the battle. Wait, why you paused like that? Refresh, you son of a gun.
저건 어떻게 하는 걸까요? 역시 홍원 닭 같은 신기한 것들로 가득 차 있네요.
Okay, there we go. Unclashable, right. You there. You there. You there. You there. Butler Ryoshu in the big season 7. I hear you, but Butler Ryoshu actually kind of hitting. She is not a bad Poise ID at all, in my opinion. I think she fits on the team really well because of her attack weight skill 2, and her general Poise upkeep is really solid due to her skill 3. Just a full 7 Poise count from that alone. She kind of really holds her own rather well on the team. At least thus far. Otis should have been Nelly. Tisk tisk. Where are you? There you are. Give me that. Why are you nowhere to be seen? Interesting. Okay.
하지만 슬슬 물는다.
Well,
근처 유니스는 거를
guess we're not doing that. Okay. Bring OBS back up. Alright.
프로모노인 카운터 회식 메뉴. 수박을 곁들인 미니수영 과자로 결정하지.
How about if a throat pain is it, Lynx? Is it the type where it's just mild discomfort, or is it full, like, eating and talking and everything is full painful? Because I know it always sucks when you get, like, the full treatment of just complete shit sore throat. Mild? Okay, that's good. I was dealing with, like, really rough sore throat the other day, so I'm glad that you're not going through the worst of it. Attack level down could be interesting. That's probably honestly better. My voice has more cracks than Yi Sang's wings, though. Okay, so Dawn off rip will have her skill 2 and her skill 3 with that. She'll lose the skill 3 buff on transform. Faust will remain with skill 2. I think that's worth it for just general strength, not gonna lie. And then getting that for all our slashers is good too. Give me another refresh. Heath gets another of that, which is always good. Then we get Greg available. Let's get some enhanced going. Kurkumo doesn't do anything for us. And I think those two are the front two, so that should buff them. Better safe than sorry, more than likely though. Give us a bunch of goods there. Power up our gun boys. And then we can drop one there. The stream lagging for me? Oh? Do you reckon it's from your device, or do you reckon it's something on my end? Because from what I'm seeing, I'm not really getting any lag on my end, and you'd think I would be having it since I'm the one streaming. Let's go ahead and tag that. Wow, it stopped the second you saw the message? Ayo. Okay, we're gonna dip that. Give me it. And we got it. That's actually dope. Okay. We're in a good spot. This run is gonna be a nice contender for floor 15, probably, honestly. Gaslighting me? Hello, Heathcliff. Alright, let's... You're the one with that, so... Let's go ahead and give Faust it, I guess. And just tuck you there so you don't lose out on anything. You can do that. You do that for some of that for free. And you go there. And then everyone else can go here pretty comfortably. W. Heathcliff.
영원한 참
아, 여기서 그런 공격이 잘 먹히는군요.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited to jump into Distortion Detective a bit more officially.
마음씨가 넓은 분이실까요?
Heath, let's toss you there.
상관없어요.
Then, honestly, we can probably toss just those two with Ryoshu at the back line to be safe. And everyone else over on you, Heath. Yeah. I'm all bundled up, ready for it, Twi. Oh, good shit, Heathcliff. We might just kill him before we even get rid of the dude with the shield. Well, Faust might clean it up, actually. Yeah. Okay. And Roja polishes it off. Man. Love the poise team. I'm very interested how difficult the next stage of MD is gonna be though, because MD really is only gonna get harder from here. I think it'll be going up to what? Level 55 is the base for it now? Because we're still at level... Are we at level 50 or are we at level 55 currently? We did get a new mirror with... I think we did get a new mirror with Honglu's Kanto. So... We're probably at 55 currently. Okay. Hongler? Let's refresh middle stuff. Nothing worth. That's more clash power for him. Wouldn't be bad. Wait, isn't there maintenance soon? Maintenance is in 2 hours, Lynx. So we're honestly fine to keep going, but now that we hit floor 5, we're probably gonna hop off. Yeah. When other allies use an unopposed attack, okay, interesting. So we could still proc that, technically. I think we don't bother. Don't have any blood feast, so honestly, might be best to just do this for some money-related stuff. Maybe one attack, wait, DPS up. Alright. Druid is the best tower in BTD 6. I don't care what anyone says. I don't know. I think Necromancer is definitely good. Necromancer with the zombie... Who? The wizard. Wizard turns... Go ahead and head back to main menu. Then Let's cash these in. And then Yusang, we nearly have all the shards we need for you. One more week and we should be good. And we have a fair little bit of... Prince of Darkness is a certainly favorite of mine too. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're gonna pull Twitch on over to the side here. And if it'll unfreeze, there we go. Wow, the stream pauses when the ad ends, and when I refresh, I get another ad. Truly peak. Okay. So with that moved, now let's go ahead and bring you up over here into this window. Okay, so that's not gonna work either. Alright. Let's bring you back up. Okay. So, now we can go ahead and... So, where can I... Yeah, okay. There we go. So, Twitch stream browser. That brings us here. And with that is not the right window. God damn it. Okay. So now I want to bring this over to here. All right. We're gonna full screen. I do not think that is cutting off chat at all. No, it doesn't look like it is. All right. Ugh. All right. Now, I guess here's the real question. How are we reading this? Are we doing voices or am I just reading? I think to start off, I'll just read. Otherwise, my goddamn voice is gonna die in no time. Okay. Oh, you think I read, T? Okay. I can see the distortion. And the distortion can occur to anyone. I don't know exactly who coined the term distortion for the phenomenon, but people just started calling it that at some point. I meant to come in earlier, but Twitch was having a fit. W. No one knows how it works, but the experience so far suggests that this phenomenon is a manifestation of strong emotional desires and explosive surges of feelings. The pianist, who, or rather, which, wreaked havoc on District 9, is known as one of the most notable cases of the distortion. Nathan? Wrong. Loud buzzer. Not many are aware that smaller cases of the distortion are happening here and there across the city even now. A person turning into a fish and another one's eyes being dyed with the hues of the sky are two such examples. The distortion appears to me as visual distortions in a literal sense. Although I can see them, they aren't tangible. In the case of the person whose upper body gradually turned into that of a fish, I could clearly observe scales growing on their body. Yet when I touched their skin, I could only feel the soft sensation of a normal human's skin. Hearing this much, one might think the distortion is merely an illusion. Well, that would mean I'm simply delusional and suffering from hallucinations, however. However, I've taken up this job because that is not the case. Nate, Lynx wants to ask you a question or something. I don't know. Flat Bochi. Alright, we can give you a little bit of Sparkle Megu for that, T. I am chasing after the distortion. It's secretive, yet explicit, and it proceeds slowly. For example, the fish person I mentioned earlier, who was dubbed the merfolk, underwent gradual changes such as having their eyes protrude, gills appear, and scales grow out of their skin. When their upper body almost completely morphed into the form of a fish, the change physically manifested in a moment's silence. Only then could others see what had become of the merfolk, and physically feel the fishy features of their body. What? Was Distortion Detective before or after Ruina? I think... That's a good question. So I think Distortion Detective was either before or during Ruina. Then Ruina had its conclusion, at which point is when the Virgilius novel came out, which is Leviathan. And then obviously after that is when we had Limbus. Why are you chasing the hit perk from hit survivor Jeff Johansson's perk Distortion from hit game Dead by Daylight? Hey, can someone... T, can you time yourself out for like a minute for that one? The Merfolk, case number 5, was originally a villager in District 19's fishing hamlet who is subject, not speaker, I'm stupid, subject to constant abuse. Yeah. It seemed that they spent most of their time staring into the Great Lake, yearning to escape from their current life. My conclusion is that they desired to be free from their agonies and saw the lake as a getaway, and that strong longing for water ultimately distorted them into the merfolk. Of course, there are many other complicated factors involved, but I'll omit the details since the merfolk is not the main subject of my story. Timeout Taco Fiction 600. My work is to look out for cases of the distortion and prevent them. In fact, the progress of the distortion varies for each person. Ever since I gained this ability to see omens of the distortion with my eyes, I cannot see a single person who is not distorted in one way or another. Once again, I don't have a deeper understanding of the phenomenon or anything. I simply started seeing it one day and could notice it earlier than others. Since I can see the signs in advance, I do my best to warn people to take preventative measures before it manifests. That is my job. I was hired by a firm that had lost several of its staff to the so-called Ascension incident, and sought out the employees whose eyes were filled with the sky's colors. The firm advised them to wear sunglasses. The idea to give them sunglasses so that they couldn't keep the scenery of the sky in their eyes was so outlandish, it made me chuckle. The sky no longer being blue for them didn't have much positive impact on their boring lives, but at least they didn't evaporate anymore. The people who used to look up at the sky started looking down instead. Perhaps they still wanted to get closer to the sky by going up to the rooftop, or maybe they were just one of the many who chose to jump to death. The city isn't too interested in what happens after a case has been solved. All they need to know is if the deaths were understandable or not. I'm not a charity worker, so I don't bother looking into cases of distortion. Cases of the distortion I wasn't asked to investigate either. Case number 13, Balloon People. This case was rather explosive. I titled this case Balloon People because people's heads quite literally expanded like balloons until they went pop. This cold explosion would cover everything within a 10-mile radius with blood and blow to pieces everyone in its range as well. A company in O-Corp's nest finally asked for my help after suffering 5 instances of those balloon people. After some investigation, I found out that all occurrences of this distortion had one thing in common. They all worked in the service industry. To interpret a distortion, you need to combine multiple pieces of evidence. This process consists of 4 steps: cause, explanation, understanding, and acknowledgement. First, investigate the possible causes of the distortion, and construct a clear explanation that covers the causal relationship in a convincing manner. Then, make the subject understand why they are going through the distortion, and have them acknowledge that they could fully distort at this rate. This song's a bit distracting. We'll cut that out for the time being. They could fully distort at this rate. If all of these steps succeed, the case is closed. The distortion is considered solved if the subject regresses to a form that looks human enough to me. Those who became the balloon people used to work in emotionally intense fields such as delivery carriers, nurses, and call center clerks. Particularly, call center clerks had the largest average explosion radius of 16 meters. Some inquiries revealed that another company had subcontracted all customer service calls to one center. The clerk's job was to record the claims from clients and send those records to that company. The problem lay in this process. The call center clerks lacked any expertise in the subjects of those complaints, yet they had to endure heaps of insults from their clients, even though there was no use lashing out at them. The clerks were treated like emotional garbage cans, hearing all kinds of abusive language and even threats from clients. Service workers are compelled to put on a smile and a cheery voice while being a punching bag for others, having no way to vent out their own distress. Such stress would naturally accumulate over time. This resulted in their heads inflating like balloons, all the while they maintained a facade of serenity. They'd end up exploding once their stress reached a breaking point. From that point, my work is simple. I made a list of clerks whose head appeared inflated to me and sent that to the company. Those clerks then lost their jobs. The company didn't bother investing any time or effort into shrinking their heads. My work often ends before I can enter the stages of understanding and acknowledgement. Simply interpreting the distortion doesn't resolve the fundamental issue. Their stress is bound to explode in one way or another. However, such matters didn't concern my clients much. All they cared about was maintaining this abnormal status quo and evading responsibility for the distortion, not the cause behind it. So the employees are the people from the Airhead commercials? God damn it. All they cared about was maintaining the abnormal status quo and evading responsibility for the distortion, not the cause behind it. I suppose the same can be said of me. I can't help but keep thinking that we are all missing something important. I believe I'll be chasing after the distortion for a while, as every single thing appears distorted to my eyes. Right now, I am looking into a mirror. To my eyes, I'm the only one who doesn't appear distorted. In a world full of distorted people, could the one person who remains unchanged be the distorted one? So is Wonderland canon? It's not Wonderland, I think it's Wonderlab, right? And yes, Wonderlab is canon to my understanding. It's just a story following a specific set of employees from Lobotomy, pretty much. Tiny Tina's. As I look at all the distorted people, the distorted streets, and this distorted city, I come to think that maybe the whole world is distorted. I can't fathom what would happen once the distortion of this world continues and reaches a critical point. Until then, I'll stay ever vigilant for the distortion. I am the Distortion Detective. Oh my god, guys! Ezra is so cool! It's not even Ezra. Oh my god. We love you, Distortion Detective! We love you! You idiot. I quietly murmured, grinding my teeth. Ezra had done it again. I told her numerous times not to ask sensitive questions to the subjects of the distortion. Ezra then whispered to me, Detective, what do we do? Who the fuck's talking? Why can't we have things denoting who's speaking? I would love that. I guess we're not doing that. Sorry, Chef. My niece isn't very streetwise yet, you see. Oh, you lovely young sprout. What do you mean with detective? Are you seeing stuff again? Poor little thing. Humph. So you were just a couple of nut jobs? If you disrupt my business with bollocks again, I'm gonna call security. Heathcliff, is that you? The master chef yelled, although this restaurant was too small and shabby for such luxurious titles. You just not get to know who's talking. Yeah, it seems that way. Yes, I'll teach my little gal here to behave. Are you insane? Did you really have to say that out loud? Wow, the food here is just as disgusting as the sanitation. Who taught you to cook? In a small restaurant that's not seeing too many guests. But it really did taste horrible. You think we're here to enjoy the food? You're supposed to carefully look around for clues. Just cram the food in your mouth before the chef finds us suspicious. This food has got to be the cause of the disappearance. I bet the revolting taste drove them crazy and made them wander off. I'm cutting your salary. What? By 25%. Oh, detective, please! So Wonder Lab is a separate story. They confirmed what aberrations were, so it's canon, and from Wait, I heard they used some abnos in Ruina, and it won't be referenced in the future. Yes, some of the abnormalities from Wonder Lab were used in Ruina, which was very cool, by the way. It was super cool to see them show up like that. Especially since Wonder Lab was kind of expected to have... Would you mind seeing some? In Limbus Company? Or in any future PM material? Because... honestly, I wouldn't mind either, if I'm being real. I think Wonder Lab stuff, while... No, in Ruina? Like the names of the abnos of Wonder Lab in Ruina. Mean by would I mind seeing some? What do you mean by would I mind seeing some, though? I don't get that. It took a pipe out of my inner coat pocket. The case may be stuck for the moment, but it should end well somehow. With such optimism, I started smoking. I'm a fixer from District 14, a decently experienced grade 5 currently working for 7, the association specializing in intelligence and investigation operations. I solve mysteries for a living, though most of these unsolved cases are about the distortion anyway. The city still seems to be mostly clueless about the distortion. I simply jumped into this budding niche earlier than others thanks to my cursed talent, seeing people's distortions. It autocorrects you to I? We're gonna wait for the ad to end, and then we're gonna ask Lynx the question to try and get the full idea of what they're asking. Alright, so Lynx, when you are asking, would you mind seeing some? What do you mean by that? Is my question. Like, because I've already been through all of Ruina. I've seen things in Ruina already. What do you mean by would I mind? Because I'm a bit confused by your, like, the way you're specifying the question, I guess. Good question, I don't even understand. So, what did the chef look like to you, detective? The lower half of their body was that of a snake, and hands were attached on its tail. Zzz. It had about 7 tails, if I remember correctly. Ugh. What about their upper body? Was it human? Yep. I could see a human in a filthy chef's uniform. Does that mean the distortion has progressed by about half? Maybe it'll manifest in a week or so. Could very well happen tonight, judging from the circumstances. The mouth on one of the tails was salivating and twitching quite intensely. Anyway, we're dealing with a reptilian, right? Let's see. A Stigma Workshop product could work. You always pick expensive gadgets. What I meant to say, I would like to see some if you would drop the names of the Abnos of Wonderlab into Ruina. If I would drop them? Are you asking me if I could show which Abnos from Wonderlab are in Ruina and give you like an image of it? Is that what you're asking me? I think you're just phrasing it very poorly, Lynx. I'm sorry. It's hard to understand what you're meaning. Yeah? Okay. We could definitely look into that. I don't know if I'll do it just this moment, but if you remind me in the Discord, I can definitely send you a screen cap of it, potentially. I need the names. Yeah, I know, I don't know them off the top of my head. I haven't read Wonderlab in like a year. I don't even remember the names of the main characters, if I'm being honest. I really don't. Those poor nuggets. Isn't there like a wiki or something? There is. I don't know. The pattern of the distortion has been changing lately. The manifestations are getting faster. No. To be precise, the distortion has started to manifest even while people are unconscious. That's right. Their bodies distort in their sleep. This seems to happen with the people who are half distorted from what I can see. The sloppy monster can only cause sloppy trouble. This way Association gave my office a request. People have been disappearing at night inside a certain hotel in the area the Association has been safeguarding. Recording was forbidden in the back streets of District 14, so there's no video footage available. The hotel only has 2 entrances, the main gate and the back door through the kitchen. None of the missing guests were seen leaving through the main gate. The hotel wasn't assaulted by a syndicate either, which was obvious considering that the Zwei were in charge of that area. Detective! Maybe something's really up with the kitchen. Its chef was the most distorted person around, so it's plausible. The sun sets and night falls. We infiltrated the hotel restaurant. The ferry I spent Whoa, video footage? We're so advanced? Video footage? That's a still image, my boy. The sun sets and night falls. We infiltrated the hotel restaurant. The ferry I spent a fortune on enters the keyhole and opens the door for us. Sometimes singularities feel much more like monsters than the half-baked creatures born from the distortion. Wow, are they having a party or something? What are they eating? Under a red light, skinless hunks of flesh were sitting around a table, eating something. Singularity. The only dish on the table was something that looked like a large leather sack. They each grab something from the sack and eat it. The putrid smell stings my nose. My mind falters for a moment. Turn around. Do not look at the thing they're eating. Don't breathe! This is driving me mad, Detective. But it looks so cozy in there. It looks like a bedroll. You'll be eaten and turned into manure once you get in that bedroll. Ezra was completely entranced. I smacked her in the chest as quietly as I could. Gwet! I gave Ezra a handkerchief so she could cover her nose. Keep it tight. We're heading to the kitchen now. Leaving behind the feast, we crawled toward the kitchen. A long line of people waited in front of it. Those were the people reported to be missing. They enter the kitchen one by one, and then human-shaped flesh hunks walk out, each carrying a leather sack. They bring it to their table and eat from it. The food... the food that bewitches people, huh? What could they be eating, Detective? It's time to find out. Get ready, assistant. Ezra took a Stigma Workshop sword out of her bag. I pulled out my smoking pipe. The door leading to the kitchen is wide open. People lining up for their sack pay, no attention to us. They're simply mumbling to themselves. We proceed slowly. We're going in. I can hear the sound of kitchenware at work. The chef is busy cooking something. I've never seen handkerchief spelled out. I've only heard it said. I've seen it spelled out as well. It's just I see it very infrequently, so the spelling does catch me off guard every now and then. You think it'd be spelled a little bit differently, honestly. God, I need something good for a fucking reading backtrack. Reading ambience for okay. That's kind of a vibe. We can roll with this. Is what came to mind, not handkerchief. Lo-fi girl 24/7 background music with me with Music. Okay. Settings. We're gonna go ahead and tag on that because I think that'll be a bit funny. Then we do that. All right. I can hear the sound of kitchenware at work. The chef is busy cooking something, holding multiple cooking utensils with the hands that are on their tails. What could they be cooking? What are they feeding those people with? Detective, people are bowing to the chef to show their heads. The chef is splitting them open and taking something out? It doesn't look like a brain. They aren't extracting the brain itself. They're pulling something out of it. Could it be thoughts? How is that possible? That's what the distortion is all about. Unseeable things are materialized. Fuck, I completely butchered materialized. I feel terrible about everything in life. That's what the distortion is all about. Unseeable things are materialized. That means they're giving away their thoughts to the chef, so the chef can cook them, and the chef also peels their skin to use as a sack. It's pretty wicked. My eyes met the chef's gaze.
Hey, you're the insane bunch I saw earlier today. If you want to eat, then line up. The taste is gonna be nothing like the stuff you ate before.
What are you feeding these people?
I'm giving them what they want. I cook thoughts. People these days don't even know what they're thinking, so they need someone else to cook those thoughts up and feed them.
You've already killed people. A case of the distortion that is capable of murder would be, according to the standards our office set up, a risk level 3 distortion.
Kill?
Hey, there's a man trapped in Lego City. Build the helicopter. Shut the fuck up, dude.
Kill? They aren't dead. They're having a feast, don't you see? Ordinary food isn't enough to make people happy anymore. You gotta know who you are and what kind of world you're living in to truly savor the flavor. This is almost like a cheap urban myth. You've gone too far. What, detective? The fleshy things in the restaurant all came in here. You just haven't tried it yet. I'll show you how your thoughts taste. Ezra, take them down. The Stigma Workshop sword emits an orange glow. The wire on its blade heats up. Each time Ezra swings the sword, one of the hunks of flesh falls to the floor. The heated wire leaves beautiful symbols through the sections it slices, a trademark feature of Stigma Workshop's weapons, or products. The smell of burnt meat soon fills the kitchen. So for me, Wonder Lab is a soft canon from my understanding. Pretty much, Lynx, pretty much. It has elements that are taken into further context and canon via Ruina and other things, but it itself is... Wonder Lab is a lot like the donor abnormalities from Lobotomy Corporation, if that makes sense. They exist, they're canon, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna be brought up again or often, if at all. They are going to be a background element that exists purely for flavor, should it ever come up. As like a necessity, pretty much. A sentient case of the distortion that willingly harms others is ultimately subjected to termination. We sometimes encounter distortions that we can't take down on our own, but most of them can still be dealt with in some manner. This kind is especially simple. Have you tried your own cooking, then? Self-contradiction. Distortions that damage others while claiming to care for them are bound to face irony. So you're feeding others with a dish you haven't even tried yourself? What makes you so confident in its taste, My cooking has to be tasty. All the customers looked sad and sulky even when I served them with the most delicious food before. It's because they didn't think for themselves! You can tell if the food is tasty just from a person's face. Someone who doesn't try their own cooking isn't a real chef. Ugh! Fine! I'll eat it! I'll eat my own food! There we go. That's the spirit of a true chef. The chef split open their own head. They put their hand into their brain and pulled out something glowy. As soon as the chef was done taking all the thoughts out, they collapsed onto the floor. What's up, Kato? Hope you're having a good one tonight. Really just... Man. Detective is her, not gonna lie. No problem, just finished my mirror dungeon. W. We could have done the trope for a half reptilian. AI in Wiki says it's considered non-canon. I'm going through all 4 stages of grief. I don't know what to believe. Thank you for banning the bot seller, T. I appreciate you. Never had the time to sit down and read Distortion Detective. So this is a good chance. Real shit? As soon as the chef was done taking all of the thoughts out, they collapsed onto the floor. Just like that, the chef passed away before they could taste their own thoughts. Detective! I took care of them all! I'm done with my share, too. Should we contact the Zwei Association now? Yeah, just write up a short report. They won't believe all this fuss about cooking thoughts anyway. I'll go get some sleep first. Got it! Cellar tea. I live in Nate's cellar. Truly. My cellar boy. That does not sound good. Who's talking? Is this just gonna be Ezra again? God damn it. I wish we had, like, name denotions. Yo, that's crazy. Okay, I got it fixed. Aberrations and the Abnos featured are canon. The story and characters are not. Okay, that's about what I figured. Alright. So, yeah, it's pretty much the donor Abnos from LobCorp, then.
Anything pertaining the story behind them is not canon, but the aberrations and abnos themselves are in some form or fashion, even if we don't see them again. This log doesn't tell you who says what, bro. How is this readable? It's, I mean, I'm gonna be real. I'm not happy with it, but as long as you have reading comprehension, you can parse it for the most part. Good morning, Detective Moses. You're a bit later than usual today, huh? Yeah. The line at Hum Pong Pong was long today. Guess everyone wants to check it out since it's the first to open in the north of the city. Oh, Hum Pon Pon. Did you get some for me too? Yeah, got one for you just in case. You liked mustard, right? Mustard flavor's great. The Zwei sent us the reward just now. That quick? It only took them a day. I bet they're scamped the paperwork. God damn it. It needs to be a bit lower as well still. This should be better. Tag that on. Okay. That quick? It only took them a day. I bet they scamped the paperwork. Anyway, to sum up this case, it was about an unappreciated cook who wanted to bring joy to the people in their own twisted way. It was a crude story. We've had to deal with the distortion on our own a lot more often these days, now that I think about it. Why are the Wings and the other associations so passive about it? Monsters are actually appearing! Because none of them were noteworthy enough to even be an urban plague. Well, the pianist being the sole exception. Still, shouldn't someone do something about this? It's like a ticking time bomb. I bet a lot more people die to syndicates than to the distortion. By the way, you're not actually gonna cut my salary, are you? That stupid chef's food really was the cause. Psh! Try using that good memory for something better. I can hear you! Okay. We fucked up another restaurateur. Average DBD, real. Imagine Konosuba, but none of the dialogue was named and just exaggerated to who says what. You're not wrong, but you're wrong. You see, T, you're so right about that. If it didn't denote the names, I would have hated Konosuba a good bit, even though I'm a big fan of it. At the very least, we can kind of parse this because it's mainly just Ezra and I'm actually getting kind of frustrated. Hey Lynx, can you remember the name of the detective? I'm like blanking on it, and I have been for the past like 10-20 minutes. It's getting a little upsetting. I should know her name. There's only one. Everything else is fucking dead. Moses, thank you. A detective office for unsolved cases located in a 3-story building somewhere in the streets of District 14. It's a mystery how people manage to find their way to my humble office. There's rumors of a haunted alleyway. People who pass by it disappear. How do they disappear exactly? Ezra asked curiously. No one knows who disappeared or how. All we know is that someone disappeared somehow. Then it's either a memory manipulator or a reality warper. Oh. No one knows who disappeared or how. All we know is that someone disappeared somehow. Then it's either a memory manipulator or a reality warper. But, Detective, I thought reality warpers only existed in your theories. This might as well be our opportunity to see one for the first time. What's this all about? It's just our jargon. Where did they go missing, by the way? Ezra changed the topic before the client could ask further. Okay, so the third party is a client. The FI you mean? I mean, people still play Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know how. My good friend Bam still grinds TCSM. Name me one other ASIM horror game that competes with DBD. Roblox Ace. They are all decently made, but forsaken. The drama surrounding them is awful, though. Yo, we're not counting Roblox. I'm with T on this. We're not counting Roblox. You didn't Hey, Lynx. When you can't even use the right here, we're not gonna hear you out. Here is spelled H-E-A-R, my boy. Get it right or shut the fuck up. No offense. We just clowning. Ezra changed the topic before the client could ask further. It's somewhere around the Plaza of Cherished Hopes. That's not too far from here. How did you know that people went missing? Used vehicles and objects were found abandoned in the street, like bicycles and cars. And most of all, the furniture in my attic was sorted as if someone had been living there until today. Life is Roblox? Hey, get that boy on the mic! That means one of your family members has disappeared. Huh? But there's only 3 people in my family and they're all fine. Me, my husband, and my child. Well, see if we investigate it. It's not terrible. It's Roblox. Lynx. It's terrible. What if there really was another family member I've forgotten, like you said? And if they're dead, the culprit should be killed. That's rather stern. Well then, we should start discussing the request fee! Unk? Nah, we. Ezra's eyes sparkled as she spoke. I left the financial management of her office to her. She has enough wits to figure out how serious or tough a request will be, so I can trust her to lead negotiations like this. I headed out to the terrace while Ezra and the client were busy bargaining. We're not pulling out Unk. No, we're not pulling out Unk. Thank you for defending me, T. Thank you, my boy. Nate, I heard from Pyro that people are calling our games Unk Slop. Okay, first of all, which Pyro? And second of all, what games are our games? Because I'm gonna need you to clarify that. We can put Distortion Detective aside for a hot second. No point arguing with people over 20? Okay, no point taking the opinions of people under 20 into account. How's that feel, Lynx? Fucking fetus? God! Trying to act like our life experience is a bad thing. I agree with Nate. W Nate. Goo goo gaga. Oh god. But what games are you referencing? Okay, Pyrocynical. What games is Pyro shit talking, bro? How is he calling stuff unk slop? He's over 20. He's unk by that same fucking metric. What? Call me a sperm cell? I don't care, lol. Hey, yo. No. What are you knowing, bro? What are you knowing? I don't like that. That's bad omen. He's defending our 2000s and 2010 gems. Calling it Unk Slop ain't defending it. Calling it Unk Treasure would be defending it. And you know what? Get your booty in VC. Some people under 20 are calling our games Unkslop. Yeah, no, I gathered that. People be dumb like that. Like you're getting in this goddamn VC. We're talking about this as we read. I ain't taking no slander to my goddamn Red Dead. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I'm not
now.
slandering. I'm not slandering. I'm not slandering.
I never said you are my boy.
Okay. I'm just saying you're because I never played it.
Yeah, which you should fix, by the way.
I'm not paying like over $60.
Huzz, play that shit, please. It's good.
Dead Redemption. On.
Look,
On.
you can emulate
$50.
Red Dead 1 with an Xbox 360 emulator. It runs at good FPS and you have a good enough PC for it. Emulate that shit. And then you can just join my Steam family for a little bit and you can play Red Dead 2. And then you can go back to Dylan's Steam family when you're done. Because they are very good games and I think you would enjoy them if you put time into it.
No.
What? What? What?
I need you to look at DMs.
What? What the fuck? Hey, Spring Foxy. What's up, big dog? Hope you're having a good one. Is this game relevant to you? Why the fuck is there Resi 3 there?
Bro, why is it recommended to me on fucking RDR 1, bro?
That's scuffed. Okay.
That's so diabolically bad, bro.
Don't be using words like diabolical. We're really gonna get called unk. Listen, Weeb, I have bias because Roblox introduced me to PM, so I wouldn't be here if I didn't have Roblox. You see, Lynx, I have some sympathy for you on that, so I will never shit-talk you on that regard, but I will shit-talk every other Roblox-introduced PM player because they're cancerous. And I think that's a fair statement to make, as you have seen a lot of them firsthand. I smoke from my pipe, feeling the acrid breeze of the back streets. Still, this air is much clearer compared to the messy atmosphere during the smoke war. Distorted creatures walk the streets as always, wondering how long I'll be doing this. I puff tobacco smoke. Detective! I'm done writing the contract. The client went back to her home. Plaza of Cherished Hopes, was it? Get ready. Yes, Chief. Do I bring the usual gadgets? Ezra asked as she stuffed equipment into her dimensional bag. Sure. I walk along the street with Ezra. The time is 2 p.m. Ta-da! Here we are at the Plaza of Cherished Hopes. What do we do now? Wait till the night falls? Cough, cough, yeast, cough, cough. You're right. This case appears to be a location-type distortion, judging from the client's description. A powerful distortion can affect its surroundings as well, assimilating nearby objects into it. We should look for any distorted buildings. But only you can see those weird buildings, Detective. What can I do? See if there's abandoned bikes around here, maybe. Windows with eyes, apartments floating in the air, doors with teeth, rooms filled with water. There are a lot more distorted buildings than it seems. It would be quite a sight if they manifest all at once.
This is some like downtown Gotham type shit, bro.
Okay, yeah, fucking doors with teeth, rooms filled with water, apartments floating in the air. Man, that's Batman right there.
That's like a futuristic downtown fucking Gotham, bro.
God damn it. I don't play Roblox much as often. Most games are just slop 99% of the time. I can name only 30 good games left on the goddamn website. 30's a bit of a stretch, I'll say that pretty accurately.
I've not played Roblox in years.
I've been dragged on a couple times due to stream and Haley recently, but There are some games which are at least like they have a vague amount of substance to them, but most of it, I just don't agree with the platform because they punish people who fucking stop predators. The Roblox punishes people who help kids and stop predators. That alone is a reason to not use, not respect, and whatever else Roblox. And it would be the exact same way with Epic. And I'm holding out my judgment on Epic with that because some stuff with Epic has been sus, just nowhere near as bad as Roblox.
What's going on with Epic?
Some of the, you know how Roblox is so like versatile for letting people make their own games and own worlds in it?
Yeah, Fortnite does the same, I presume.
Yes, Fortnite has very similar where people can make their own game modes and stuff like that. There's nothing, from what I understand, there is nothing to the level of Roblox because a lot of it is better moderated than Roblox is, but there are still servers where people find out the age of kids and then they friend them and then try to get them to add them on platforms like Discord. So it's still an intermediary platform for predators to gain the information and contact with minors. And that's one of the reasons why it's not great, even if it's nowhere near as bad as Roblox. Because the problem with Roblox is that they're fully allowed to operate on the platform instead of having to use it as an intermediary to go to another. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why it's just such a fucking... I can't support it. I can justify certain things about Epic, but...
I mean, the whole situation with... It's just disgusting.
It's what happens when pedophilia is not punished. It's not. So much of America is overtaken by politicians, people, and just political movements that outright try to justify and allow pedophilia on a wide scale. Trevor, did you know that there are people in the US currently trying to get age of consent lowered to 16 years of age? Did you?
All states? Because it's sometimes...
Throughout
okay.
some, if not all, yes.
Okay, so here's the thing with that. There's some states, like our state, that is... the age
Well,
of
don't be
consent
talking about our state, brother.
I don't agree with that either. Not since day one. I've agreed with that.
I don't agree with it either. I dislike a lot about the stuff that happens where we live. But point is,
Yo, age of consent should just be 21, bro.
no, age of consent should be 18.
18?
Yes, 18 is completely normal and it's a lot healthier for women. Because the thing is, when 18 and teens in general are the best years for giving birth. And it's an unfortunate reality, but it's a biological reality. For mental maturity, 18 is the best in between that we can get for it to be not only safe and healthy for the individuals, but it's also the best case scenario to maintain some form of safety for them. Because people will take advantage and things will happen like what's happening with Muslims over in the Middle East right now, where 9-year-olds are being married off to 48-year-olds. They're having sex with them, and they die of internal bleeding as a result of it. That's happening all over the Middle East, brother. And I'll never, ever, with a single fiber of my being, want any sort of that in the US. I would sooner say that we should have politicians vying for that assassinated than say that I'd be down for that to come here. I'll pull a Hassan real quick.
That's crazy.
I don't know. It's disgusting the shit that's going on in our fucking world right now, bro. It really is. And all I can hope for is that things get better and we can fully oust this kind of ideology and sentiment from our country. And the problem is, a lot of it is being perpetrated by Epstein, or was, or still is, considering he's seemingly alive. And did you know that Epstein was a large contributor to the trans movement?
No,
He is.
I've not read any like.
The files?
I've been like. Yeah, I saw Charlie like. I saw a video for Charlie like. Going over it, I just kind of ignored it and just moved on with my day. I've never like. Dylan's brought it up.
We can maybe have a talk about it another time. Let's not do it on stream. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've been streaming too, and I just don't want anything to. Because he goes through on stream.
Yeah, I know.
That's a hazard of it.
I mean, speaking the truth is important. It's just that Twitch is usually my fucking escapist area, where Twitter is where I go all in on politics. Okay. Let's take a sip of water.
Get a Mountain Dew.
You fucking fiend.
I just got some.
Now, which building to investigate first? I don't have any specific criteria set in mind. Some deduction and intuition are all it usually takes to figure it out. This one is a case of the distortion that devours people whole. The victims are soon forgotten by others. Why were they attracted to that distortion? I need the profiles of the missing people, but if no one knows who disappeared, it'll be difficult to figure out their common traits. Ezra, look for a place around here that provides goods or services for free. What? For free? Does that kind of place even exist? Preferably a place where people who don't have a job would go. And that is why it's easier to figure it out. The distortions of this city are actually rather simple to understand. Ah, there it is! A place called Lumiere's Soup Kitchen. Is it sponsored by anyone? Nope, it seems to be run by an individual. Lead me there. People who are destined to be forgotten in the city will naturally be attracted to free meals. Isn't this a photo studio? What? It looks like a worn-out tent, though. It's a distortion. Does that really look like a photo studio to you, Detective? Mm-hmm. An age studio. So, this is the soup kitchen, right? Yep. The description says that they give away free meals to children or the elderly who are too poor to afford anything else. Do we use a ferry to enter? Huh? Don't you know how expensive it is to recharge the ferry? This is just an ordinary tent camp. All we gotta do is walk in. I asked because I'm seeing a door sealed with a lock. I don't like how you talk back. I'll be cutting off your salary. What? I'm just kidding. Aren't you having too much fun with that? It shakes my heart even if it's a joke. Ugh. Say, should we wait till night? We can interfere with a distortion that's manifested this much already. What are we waiting for then? Hold on. You shouldn't just barge into a closed-off section of someone else's mind. Oh, so this is a fathom. Okay. I walked up to the door and gently knocked on it. Soon enough, the door was unlocked. Let's get inside. What did you just do? The entrance opened up on its own. I simply showed courtesy. You told me not to use the ferry or anything, so all I could do was knock on the locked door. A photo studio set up inside a wooden building. The whole building exudes the smell of hardwood, and large frames fill up the walls. Wow, it's much bigger on the inside. Now I see why you said it looks like a photo studio, Detective. I guess it's visible to you now. Could those photos on the walls be missing people? Perhaps. Each frame held a picture of a corpse. Each frame held a picture of corpses, various photographs of dead people. One common feature is that they all died indoors. This room is breathing. I can feel its respiration, its beat. No one knows how many people this room has devoured. A dying elderly person stands before me, A lonely old person whose breath is fainter than the room's, forgotten by others. This aged person has brought and taken in people. As the doddering one faded from everyone's memories, so too did the people they took in. Not a single person knows them. They were here, dying all alone. This place is a memorial. A person whose head turned into a camera greeted us from behind. The 4 lenses on their head rotated disorderly, fixing their gaze onto me. Yikes! Surprised, Ezra fell on the floor. I remember each person in their photograph. I remember each person in their photograph. I take pictures of them and frame them. Who are you? I'm a photographer. I believe I should be the one asking who you two are, in fact. This is Moses, the Distortion Detective, and I'm the talented sidekick, Ezra. She speaks with confidence, revealing our identities so shamelessly. We are fixers. We actually got a request about recent cases of disappearance. So, they do realize that some people have gone missing. What's the point of it all, though? They were already treated like invisible people even before they disappeared. Did you lure them here with free meals to kill them? Did you lure them here with free meals to kill them? Ezra questions the person while looking at them with suspicion. No, I didn't. I'm simply remembering the people who are bound to be forgotten, like Miss Agnes over there. I take pictures of them so they can be memorialized in this room. The old person standing before us must be Agnes. She's staring at the pictures hanging on the wall, letting out heavy breaths. There are so many people who die alone. I realize that as I worked, so I want to remember them. What work? Kidnapping people? No, not at all. My work was accompanied by an awful stench. When its neighbors report the smell, I go and retrieve the body. So you were a mortician who usually dealt with people that died lonely deaths? Yes. My work was to look for such bodies in the streets of District 14 and direct funerals for them, as part of the welfare plans of N-Corp's Nest. I've arranged funerals for 253 people, and not a single mourner showed up at all of them. I decided to take one last photograph of the dead before I retrieved their bodies, so that at least I could remember them. Weeb, you probably won't care, but I could put some games in the Discord that has human passion in it if you ever try to play Roblox.
Life is Roblox.
Shut up, Kendrick.
I wasn't Kendrick.
I know. DJ Khaled. If I'm playing games for personal enjoyment links, I'm just not messing with Roblox. It's not my jam. I don't like the platform. I don't like the type of practices that it refuses to punish. If any of those games were to ever become standalone and progress past Roblox, then maybe I'd give them a look. But I just don't really have any desire to support Roblox by giving it my time.
Nate,
What's up?
you enjoy reading this entire log, I will have you tapped up.
Why you call it a log, bruh? It's a fucking...
It is a log.
It's a
Wall of text.
So, you know what? Konosuba's a wall of fucking text, too, Trevor.
Yeah, but like it's a good wall of text.
Yeah, and so is this. This is good, too. This is good reading. And it's Project Moon, so it's decent in its own right.
Gotcha, slop. Gotcha, slop.
Konosuba is isekai slop.
But it's like the best of its kind, though.
Yes,
like...
it is, because it's a... Yes, it is, because the point of it is to be a satire on isekai in the first place. And then you have the actual best isekai, which is just ReZero. Kono is the best satire, ReZero is the best of its just nature. And I think that's fair to say.
Kono just surpasses ReZero, bro.
Dude, when you get through all 17 novels, yes. When you are where you are at this point in time, no. It is just a good satire. By the end of Kono, it is my favorite isekai. You and I need to just sit down and read it at some point. Deadass. Like, I think it would be good for you to read more. So that in itself would be solid, and plus you get more Konosuba. It sounds like it's only a positive, brother. More Konosuba, and you practice reading? Whoa!
Whoa! But here's the thing, Nate. I'm gonna say this for pure excuses.
Uh-huh.
You know what comes? What I already have pre-ordered. That comes out in exactly a week in 5 hours.
What's that? Resident Evil 9?
RE9, baby.
You see, here's the thing. I'm gonna need you to join my fucking Steam family so that I can play that game out of your library, and you can play my games out of mine. And then, once I beat RE9, you can be on your happy little way and get the fuck back in Dylan's Steam family. How's that sound?
That sounds awesome, because he doesn't touch my games.
I don't have the cash to buy RE9, but I'm fucking playing it one way or another.
I already paid $1 for it, bro.
Please let me play it, Trevor Sama. That shit'll be fire. It'll be a bomb-ass stream game, I promise.
What do you think I'm doing, bro?
Aw, dude. I feel you, though. Would you be down to join the Steam family to just let me play it, though?
Yes.
You're my boy.
Alright.
You are my boy. You will always be my boy. Boy for life. My basement boy.
No. Alright. I must leave.
Alright, you have a good one. Thanks for dropping by, brother. I appreciate you.
No problem.
Alright, deuces.
Bye, Nate-sama.
Eat time, my god!
Oh, wait.
Hans Vendor is now on the main Gmod.
Thank you for the follow, Harns. I appreciate it. I hope you are having a good night.
Oh, I added it. So I added a new sound effect to extra emotes.
Oh shit, really?
Let's go.
Well, shit, I guess if I'm playing DVD as Springtrap, that'll be funny.
Let's go.
It's actually taken from
Oh, wait, no, you're meaning from the Discord extra emotes.
Yeah.
Oh, when you said that, I thought you meant you added that to my fucking sound alerts on Twitch.
No.
Okay.
This is an extra emotes, the server.
Honestly, you and I should go through sound alerts and see if we can't find some cool new ones to add, because the ones we've had are getting a bit old and repetitive at this point. It would be cool to cycle them through. Okay, yeah, that'd be a funny one. I'll give you that. Okay.
Alright, good day.
Have a good one, T. Pieces. Where were we? I've arranged funerals. Okay. Yup. I wonder if I could do mirror dungeon runs, but new content should come 2 hours and 30 minutes. So maintenance is going to be starting in about half an hour, and then 2 hours from then is when maintenance should end. So yeah. And that's when we should be getting the new mirror dungeon, isn't it? Yeah, no, we should be getting Kanto 9 mirror dungeon after maintenance, because it's supposed to come out the 19th. And for us in the US and such, that'll be a day early pretty much. Hell yeah, we should probably jump over to do some new mirror once that comes out in that case. That'll be fun. Da da da. So you weren't running the soup kitchen from the beginning? I got fired. N-Corp's Nest said they don't need a useless undertaker like me. Funerals are for the living, after all. I'd meet the same fate, since I don't have anyone to remember me. For a life to be meaningful, the memories have to be passed on somehow. So we've decided to remember each other. Remember that we existed and lived in this city. Like, it is night for me, so I'll go to sleep song. W. You are distorted. What you've been doing is kidnapping people coming to your tent for free meals. Nothing more. You aren't one to decide whether they die alone or not.
But it's obvious! It's so apparent that they'll all die in their own rooms! Abandoned and forgotten by all. We'll remember each other and we'll be forgotten in peace! We have the right to not be neglected by everyone so ruthlessly!
And rob the people who still do remember them of their memories? You just kidnapped people who were in the same shoes as you, because you yourself were afraid of being forgotten. You took away their chances to be remembered. The lenses on their heads started rotating all of a sudden. I dodged to the side as soon as I heard the sound of something starting to run. Snap! Life is Roblox, had a good CEO. And I farmed some lunacy to get at least 2 10 pulls for Yi Sang banner. Peak. I don't know about links, but I have been saving up shards to just shard Rien Sang personally. So I'm probably going to be getting him the second week on and saving lunacy for Walpurgis, because from what I understand, Walpurgis should be coming next after the Yi Sang banner. So if you can shard him, it might be worth it to save for Walpurg. I fell on my knees and faltered on the floor. My whole body feels numb, and sharp pain strikes my head. Detective! Stay away from the lens! Don't let it take a full picture of you! The sounds of the lens rotating and the film being reloaded can be heard. When it takes a photo of someone, it draws out something from that person. I felt acute twinge all over my body, as if numerous spikes were stabbing me. Hey, what's up, Losteni? Hope you're having a good one. Oh, yeah? Excuse me? I remember a few that inflicted this kind of pain. I guess I can stay here. I do like DD. Peem. Do you feel like the new Yi Sang capstone idea is kind of weak? Like, weak for a capstone? Wait to see how it... Have to wait and see to see how it performs in full-on release. Ezra, I'm putting up a smoke screen. Yes, Chief. I took out the smoke pipe from my coat and blew it out as hard as possible. The smoke covers the whole room. The camera flash goes off in random directions with each snap. Detective, what are we gonna do now? The type that shouldn't be allowed to see. I mustn't let it contain us in its sight. What's in your bag today? Like, why make the capstone weaker than Maust? Because everyone bitched and moaned about how strong Mao Faust was for fucking ever. I don't see why the immediate move would be to make it stronger than Mao Faust when everyone spent the majority of the previous Kanto drawing out problems and whining about it. Do you think that the design team or KJH would like reasonably repeat that to get bombarded by BS for no reason other than people being unsurly about it? I think that people need to stop caring so much about, ooh, this ID is better than this. Ooh, that ID is better than that. Just have fun with them, man. Well, now I have no reason to ever take out Moused. I don't know. Is she gonna be the strongest forever? I don't get the obsession with it. Likely she's not going to, because we're gonna hit a point when we get color fixer IDs. Color fixer IDs are going to be far stronger than anything Malfaust can do. I think that's just kind of a guarantee of power scaling in universe. I think that realistically, if people wanted the IDs to just continually get stronger and stronger, then people shouldn't have made a fuss about how strong Malfaust was. How strong was Thumb Marcel? Reasonably strong. I still use him very frequently. He's very fun, and he's quite strong. I think that there are other IDs that definitely outpace him at this point, but I wouldn't call him bad by any means. When I think about IDs, right? I've been playing Limbus since October of 2024. So I have about a year and 4 months under my belt with the game, right? I've been a fan of P-Moon about as long, been through all of Ruina, been through all of LobCorp. I'm now reading Distortion Detective. I've read Wonderlab, and I've read Leviathan. I think people, honestly, well and truly, should just enjoy the game for what it is. When you dedicate all your time into highest damage numbers and, ooh, is this ID the strongest? Is that ID the strongest? All that does is distill the quality and the parts of that game down into binary in the way that you look at it. Can you be a fan of the high damage numbers and stuff like that? Yes. But if you let that be the only thing that you think about, I also don't get how people can comfortably beat 950 without resetting Moused. I mean, I didn't use the Hey Show for any of Kanto 9. So, without Moused. Yeah, no, I didn't do Kanto 9 with Hey Show core team whatsoever. So I can't really talk on that. You beat it in one go without Moused? Which stage is 950 again? Let me have a gander at that. Because it depends on what stage it is. Because I did beat a lot of them in one try, but there were a few that gave me trouble on my first run through. So let me just take a gander and see. Final boss. Yes, I beat Index Nurse Father. I beat him first try, and I did not use Malfaust. I think when I did Index Nurse Father, my Faust that I was using was Index Faust. In fact, let me see. Yeah, no. Let's just go ahead and let's switch on over to Twitch stream real quick. So, the Index Nurse Father, final boss. Wow, I kind of do like get Lord Honglu instead of Malfaust. I think Lord Honglu seems good. How? So, if you see the team that I have on screen right now, this is the team that I used for the Rien fight. Because I was building a team over time using meme units for the most part and not like a hugely correlated team as a result of all the separation fights where you have 3 people here, 4 people there. And at the end of Kanto 9, I just joined all of those separate groups into one for the Rien fight to try and have like a cool climactic like ending to it using all the IDs as a result of like the story-wise Dante can't do whatever with IDs and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not a bad poise team. It has good elements in it, but I just kind of used a bit of a mishmash for the meme of it, and I was able to get through Rien pretty reliably. I think Rien is a easier fight than some of the previous ones, honestly. Rien isn't that bad. Also, my levels are not reflective of what they were at for my Rien fight. How does his 9 coin not cleave that team, though? So I'm gonna be honest. 1, healing ego. And 2, I just had the full 12 deployed, including backup units, so that if anyone died, new people came out. So healing ego plus just people go down and more came out was able to handle it, really. The Gregor fight, that was way harder. Fluid sac? I mean, let's go through it. Why don't we? So, let me bring this over here. So, I have Fluid Sac on Faust. Fluid Sac's there. I also have... Not you. I also have Pursuance on Merceau. You don't have anything. Sanity Restoration on Heathcliff, which is always a W. Bygone Days and Blind Obsession on Ishmael, which are big useful. Pursuance and Indicant's Trial on Roja. Sinclair has Lantern. Holiday on Otis, which helps quite a lot with SP as well. And Greg, I did not have Garden of Thorns at the time, so that doesn't count, but he did have Lantern for himself. But obviously you don't have Greg in the Rien fight, so I didn't get to use him. I kind of can't get through 9-3, I assume that's what you mean, Harns? But yeah, no, I don't know. I didn't really... I was fighting through pretty much all of Kanto 9 with level 50s. It's only once I hit the last, like, 4 fights that I power leveled Roja, Wild Hunt Heath, and Ryoshu to level 60. That's the only time I power leveled them to 60 to push through with offense level and defense level shenanigans. Otherwise, I was fighting with level 50s to 55s the entire time, and I got through it all. It was hard. Don't get me wrong, it was hard, but I got through it. If you guys are curious, I have the full VODs of it up on the different media. Like, I think I have the VOD of part 1 on Twitch highlighted, so that's permanently here, and then I have the other 2 VODs on YouTube available. If you want to see, like, actual in-depth what I did. But I don't know, I had fun with it. I bashed my head against it until I won, and we did each new part in a single stream. Part 1, we hammered out in one go. Part 2, one go. Part 3, one go. And we just powered through it. Fought like hell. And thankfully won. I wanted to give up a couple times and take a fucking break, but we didn't. Moused and Lord Liu can kill that in 3 turns. Real. But, yeah. I have teams in just about every status effect pretty much marked out. I still have some stuff that I want to get, but I'm in the process of doing so. I'm very excited for how the teams will work with Rien though. But yeah. 950 still takes 6 turns. Oh god, turn mid-maxing. Again, I think if when you see a probably or is it Kanto 4? Kanto 4 had a bunch of fucking Kanto 4 had 54 nodes and Kanto 9 has 51. So no, not more than 4. Unfortunately. 4 is still the leader in nodes. I think, honest to God, just don't let low turn count, highest DPS number be your primary goal in Limbus. Because I think it sucks out a lot of fun. Because when you get a cool new ID like Rien coming out, your first thought and your first move isn't, I can't wait to see how that works and feels alongside other IDs in combat. Or I can't wait to see how that synergizes with other IDs. Instead, the first thought is, oh, he'll never be as good as Effervesced Spice Bush because Spice Bush has fucking Sinking Deluge, which can do over blah 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 damage and blah. It completely and utterly makes him inferior, and I don't know. That thinking is just trash. Not everyone cares about that aspect of the game. It's cool to see big number fun, but it takes a lot of the magic out of Limbus, and a lot of people end up having a bad time when that's all people focus on in conversation with them about it. I can respect it, but it's definitely not my focus. I actually kind of disagree with the Sinking Deluge. You think Azrain has better clashes? We'll have to see. If his 9-coin BS can outdamage Sinking Deluge in MD, I'll be surprised. Spice Bush has terrible clashing. His skill 3 doesn't have bad clashing. His skill 3 is fine. His skill 3 has relatively high clashing by, like, that era of ID standard, all things considered. It's just, it's an older ID, so it suffers from less inflated coin amounts and stuff. Even if it doesn't, he is more consistent and flexible. He hasn't even been out yet. We don't know it. He hasn't been out. We haven't gotten to get actual numbers. We have a stat sheet with variables that are not even defined to us yet. That's all we have. I think folks just need to touch more grass and relax a bit on that stuff. Just enjoy the game.
Lost Henny is now won the main Gmod.
Thank you for the follow, Losteni. I'm sorry if it feels like I'm being a bit dismissive or whatever, because it isn't my intention. It really isn't. I just... I have seen people get absorbed into your exact thinking, right? And then within a week, they drop the game. And it's saddening. Because one of the reasons I like Limbus is for the game. But also for the writing, and also for the characters, and also for the art, and also for the music. There's a bunch of different aspects to Limbus and just PM in general that make them so enthralling and so engaging to interact with within the fictional medium. And it's one of the reasons why when I see people walk away because they get absorbed into the let's gamify this to the ultimate level area of it, and they interact with other people who gamify it, they quickly seemingly just fall out of love with the game. And if you can deal with that dichotomy and still enjoy the game despite that, power to you. I'm not telling you to change how you think. I'm just trying to explain my perspective on it. But if you can balance that for yourself and it won't affect your like of the game or anything like that, I'm happy for you. I've just seen a number of people have that exact thing happen, so I always try to steer people towards focusing on the more creative aspects of the game rather than the gamified stuff. I'm all for people clowning around in MD, though. That's fun. I'm still not amazing in MD, and I'm just getting into the crack of things on how to really get decent at it, but I just want people to like the game for liking the game. So many people have walked away at this point. It's sad. Let's take a sip of water. Thank you for bearing with me, guys. The usual. Stigma Workshop Sword, Alice Workshop Gloves, Corey Gloves, Nestor Hammer, and throw the Corey Gloves at me. Got it! Only Ezra can see me through this thick smoke. A pair of sky blue gloves flew across the room, and I snatched them right away. I put on the gloves and slammed the wall with my hand. The wall begins to freeze over. I took a deep breath in through my pipe. The smoke that had filled the room is sucked back into the pipe. A shiny wall of ice reveals itself. The lens flashed, taking a picture of its own reflection on the icy wall. The photographer fell down, cracks showing up on his head and its lenses. You made others be forgotten because you didn't want to sink into oblivion alone. Perhaps, maybe I was the only one who had completely lost their chance to be remembered after all. How many people have you locked in here? 57. Can you recover them? Yes, I can. Then your life is spared at least. Bring them back now. But who will be there to remember me now? We will. Thank you. The photographer's head returned to normal, only a single eye retaining the shape of a lens. The studio regressed to a tent, now full of people. The distortion was solved. We found the missing family member. He's the one, right? The client doesn't look too happy. Oh, yeah. My father's back. No wonder I forgot. This would look so well in some fan-made game. Distortion Detective, you mean? Well then, shall we transact the remainder? Ezra counted the money with a smile while the client and her father headed back looking depressed. Yup. Can get a fixer office. No one would welcome the outcome of this request. They'd have much preferred to just forget about the people who eventually made it back. They'd murmured to themselves about how they wished these people would disappear forever. I heard later that 58 people's worth of smoke quietly billowed out of crematoriums in the back streets of N-Corp's Nest one day, and I simply remember, any subscriptions or financial support will be... That's... God damn it. An associate fixer in section 2. Okay. Heejun. Nice. Hopefully so. If we can get like an off season or a spin-off season of the Limbus anime once that actually goes, if it goes, I think that that could be one of the sickest things that we could get, honestly. That and obviously like a Ruina adaptation would be fire. Just getting to see Geb like in full action and stuff on the library floor. But I don't know. We gotta have our expectations be managed, because if we let them go way too like outlandish, we're only shooting ourselves in the foot, realistically. Greetings, Dr. Moses. It's been a while. An unwelcome guest visited me, an associate fixer in Section 2 of the 7 Southern Branch, and my former assistant, Heejun. Their eyes are just as arrogant as I remember. Must feel good to be playing in the big leagues way above me, doesn't it? Oh no, not at all. Hello, Heejun Sonbei! Ezra, you tactless dork. I hope you realize how much they're looking down on us by now. We got just one depiction of outskirts, like an Xmas intervalo. Yeah. What are you doing here? Heading north all the way up here from the south part of the city? Must be a complete mess down there with L-Corp collapsing. You're sharp as always, Doctor. I'm actually here because of that. What? Look, I'm just too old to get myself involved with the wings. The Distortion. You can still see it, right? I would have closed this office otherwise. I wonder how I appear to you then. Snobby prick. Always asking questions I'm not comfortable with. Well, your mouth is sewn up, it seems. Perhaps because it's actually going to be zipped up soon enough. I actually can't see their face at all, other than their two eyes floating in the air. You haven't changed at all. Don't you need some funds? Do I look like I'm in a financial crisis? Then why else would you be doing work as silly as the Distortion detective? I see. It's because you still can't forget about what you did back then. You still regret that, don't you? That's enough! Shut up, Heejun Sonbei! Ezra grabbed Han Hee-jun by the collar. The uncanny smile in their eyes still wouldn't go away. Let them speak on. Ezra and I were the only ones to survive your rampage that day. You are essentially responsible for our lives, Doctor. What do you want me to do? Bite my tongue and die? I can't have you die on us so easily, no. You still owe us so much debt. Get to the point. Why did you come all the way here from the south? I want you to head down there for a while. The southern branch is dealing with troubling incidents that are suspected to be cases of the Distortion. We need your ability, Doctor. And please stop with your shabby attempts to solve your cases. What we want is the Distortion manifesting in its whole. Don't try to restore them. Just leave them be until they fully distort. What? Is the 7 into human experiments now? I suppose you could put it that way. I've reserved 2 warp tickets departing from N-Corp's nest in 2 months, so take the train and visit our associate office once that time comes. Is it a request directly assigned from the 7 Association? Yes. It's an urban nightmare class. You're free to deny it, of course. You don't care too much about belonging to associations, after all. But you might be able to meet a certain person at the end of this request. Leave the tickets here and sod off. I look forward to seeing you, Doctor. Hee-jun left, once again smirking with their eyes. Ezra, throw some salt out the door or something. We don't have any salt in the office, though. Should I go buy some? You know what? I gotta buy some. I knew this day would come. The office feels like a devastated war zone after that snob swept by. I keep smoking until the evening, fighting the memories of my past. Ezra, bring me a map of the city. Yes, Chief. But we don't have an officially printed map here. One sec, please. I'll try drawing one up. She's passionate in weird areas, and that's what makes her fit to be my assistant. Here, it's done. I made it using Picture Store. You call this a map? Well, it works. Truly, effective drawing. We live in District 14, which belongs to N-Corp's nest. Taking a warp train is the only feasible way to get to District 11 in K-Corp's nest. I frankly want nothing to do with the white tie fixers in the south, but at the end of the day, I have no choice but to go. All because I committed an irreversible misdeed. 2 months later, huh? Hee-jun Sonbei said this was related to L-Corp. Then why aren't we just going straight to District 12 where L-Corp used to be? I heard L-Corp's nest has already fallen into absolute anarchy. They probably called us to stay in a safe place that's relatively close to it. The warp platform in L-Corp's nest likely stopped operating anyhow. Detective, are you really gonna drop solving distortions once we get there? Are we just gonna kill them? That's not up to me to decide. It'll depend on the severity of the distortion. But what if we ran into a distortion that could be reversed if we tried? We can think about that later. There's still time. So let's do our work as usual for now. Got it! I'll fetch our next request. Mock exam. Okay. It's been a week since Han Hee-jun stirred up a storm in my head. There's no point in being ambivalent about going there. I know that I have no other option. What am I agonizing for then? Detective, this request is about a high school. Ezra spoke in a cheery tone as usual. A school? Was it requested by its faculty or the principal? No. The student here is our client. Hello. My name is Meryl. The girl shyly standing behind Ezra introduced herself. One of her legs is composed of numbers. What's your school? I'm not sure if a student from the back streets even has enough money to make a request to our office. Detective! Actually, she's a client. I mean, a student from a private high school inside N-Corp's nest. A student from a private high school in the nest. The allowance these kids regularly get from their parents should be more than enough to pay us. I'm willing to play with those rich kids in their little detective games as long as the request fee is fucking hell. Request fee is paid. So, what does our young client want us to solve? Actually, something strange is happening in our school. An important exam is ahead of us, and everyone's on edge preparing for college admissions. High school students in the nest should aim for universities in the nest as a matter of course. The college scholastic ability test, held in most nests every year. This one exam determines a myriad of things. Getting low scores and going to a college in the back streets won't do you any good. Entering any college in the nest is pretty much the baseline requirement for joining a wing. So the strange events happening in the school must be disturbing your studies, and you want us to resolve it, right? It's not just about my grades. My friends got weird. The whole school is weird. The students and the teachers too. We need you to let us know what kind of strange occurrences are taking place before we can be of any help. They won't go back home at all. The classes won't end. All of the students? Yes, all of them. What about you? Only I could escape. I was in a classroom when I came to my senses. It was past midnight. A teacher was watching us from the front of the class, and all of my friends were absorbed in study, solving problems in workbooks. Aren't parents worried about their children not coming back home? Aren't parents worried about their children not coming back home? Ezra asked, confused by the apparent strangeness. It's Suneyoung, soon enough. Our school's average scores for the mock test made up the top 10 in our nest. The parents must have been okay with however the school treated their kids as long as their grades were improving. How long has this anomaly been going on? The last thing I remember before I lost myself was 2 months ago. It was the day when the school announced that they're making a scholarship class. They said students with the highest grades would be elected. A distortion that has lasted for 2 months. We should go there and see what's going on ourselves. Ezra, we're heading into the nest. Yes, Chief. I'll get the fixer license and the association certificate. I don't really feel like staying in N-Corp's nest any longer than necessary. A place full of buildings painted in pure white, I'd end up going crazy in no time if I lived there. The squarish 5-story school building is also in white. Through the white gate is a white schoolyard. The school is dead silent. Then something foreign catches my eye. A red number floating on the rooftop of the school. 5. Meryl! Meryl! What is that number on top of the school building? That shows how many days are left until this year's final mock exam. It's painted in a menacing blood red. But detective, the number's white just like the rest of the school, though. It's a distortion. Red liquid drips from the number sign. Are there any procedures for us outsiders to take before entering? There are, but I don't think anyone cares right now. When we enter the school building, a noise can be heard. The noise grows louder and more frequent. It hurts my head. What is that grating noise? It's the sound of students in each class solving problems on worksheets. They press the pencils against paper so hard when they write. I look through the windows of a class designated 1-7. 40 students had their heads fixed inches above their desks, only their hands moving briskly. What do those students look like to you, detective? Amalgamations of numbers in school uniforms. Yeesh. That means the distortion has progressed by a lot, right? They're pretty much distorted already. Announcers, when you did 600 damage but the attack type was ineffective, You fight like a deep-fried seagull begging for help. A sound announces when you did 50 damage, but the attack type was fatal. Wow, you're so awesome! That blow is amazing! Let's get married! God damn it, Lynx. Real, but... God damn it. They're pretty much distorted already. What do you mean by distorted? That means the strange events you described are happening in real life. Something showed up from the end of the corridor. It was a moving wall big enough to blockade the corridor completely. Warning! Warning! Students who do not study will face disciplinary action. Detective! It's a distortion! I can see it too! A formula is written on the wall, a distortion made of math problems. This world is never short of oddities, isn't it? This one seems to be a calculus problem. Ezra, can you solve that problem for us? No. Why did I even bother asking? Counting is the only kind of calculation she's good at. How about you, Meryl? Well, I'm more of a humanities major. Behind us is a dead end. We have to break through anyhow. All we have to do is solve that math problem on the wall, but no one is up for it. Guess it's up to me now. I took out my ballpoint pen and wrote down an answer on the approaching wall. Hey, VTuber model. Stop cracking yourself out, please. We're on good terms.
Wrong answer! You will attend supplementary lessons now!
Knew it. The wall pressed against us. So this is how it ends. I should get someone smarter to be my assistant next time. My consciousness fades. You might be wondering how I got here. When I woke up, I found myself sitting at a desk in a classroom, wearing the school's uniform. Students around me are still busy solving problems on the worksheets. How much time has passed? A red number 30 floats at the center of the class. The last one I saw read 5. Does that mean we traveled back to the past? Could this be a case of the distortion that can reverse the flow of time? A sudden burst of force pressed my head from behind. My face was slammed right onto the desk.
Solve the problems!
An oppressive voice ordered me. I skimmed through the worksheet on my desk. 17. Blending 3 humans in a mixer generates 10 units of energy. Given those conditions, what is the optimal solution to dismember 2 humans to generate 15 units of energy? 23. Chiol-su wants to be an artist. The wing Chiol-su has to go to does not need any artists. Given these conditions, how many dreams should Chiol-su kill? 45. There is a cube composed of minuscule humans. The cube factory must meet a certain quota each day. An eyeball can be squeezed for a hexagon. When O is the outer center of the left eye, how many right eyes are needed to make a cube with side lengths that are 4 meters long? A distorted school giving out distorted problems. They must constantly print out meaningless problems that'll be solved without any significance. Boo-hoo, detective, I have no idea what any of these problems say. Ezra's seat was right next to mine. She's looking at me, her face on the verge of tears. I barely lift my head and look at the number again. 17. So that was in minutes, not days. Let's wait until the exam starts. Just write down random things on the worksheet for now. Got it. The voice could be heard again.
You have 10 minutes until the mock exam starts. You must strive to solve as many problems as possible. This is all for the sake of your future. The problems you solve now will be your weapons later in life.
The number reached 0. Ding dong, ding dong.
Commencing the mock exam.
With that announcement, the school crumbled. All that remained were the students on a white plane. Then, a tall staircase rose from the middle of the field. A trophy was placed on top of it. The exam has begun. Wah! Detective! Detective! Is this a distortion too? I can't believe this. It seems like it's time to update my information on the distortion phenomenon. Keep it together, detective! We gotta run for now! It appears that a massive world of its own can be created when the interests and desires of a large group of people coincide. This is my first time seeing a distortion occur at this scale. Mass distortion. The entire school is distorted. No, it's not the school building itself. Every student in it has distorted. All the students run towards the staircase, trying to climb up it. Some try to nail down the students ahead of them, while others push away the students behind them. The numbers add and subtract each other. They multiply and divide by each other. Decimal points pour out of their bodies. This is a war zone for a very vicious battle. A war where everyone recognizes each other as numbers. No other words are needed. In this scene of numerical violence, they must add to themselves and divide others. The problems they've solved so far become weapons to kill each other. When a student assaults another with numbers, the numbers on the victim's head fall off. The students won't attack us. Perhaps lowly numbers sitting at the bottom of the staircase like us aren't worth their attention. Hey, fixers, I'm up here! It's Meryl. Her distortion progressed much more in the short span of time we were separated from her. She was already halfway up to the top of the stairs. Meryl, you should come back down here! Meryl, you should come back down here! Ezra yelled. Meryl, there's no reason to climb those stairs. This is a war, a gamble, fighting against each other with knowledge and grades on the line. If you don't climb the stairs, you'll be safe from it. No, I'll stay here. We all agreed on this to decide who gets to advance to the scholarship class, Meryl replied, killing other students. You're taking part in the massacre? I'm already halfway there, though. I can go farther. A 7 struck Meryl's head out of nowhere. The numbers in Meryl's head scattered about as she fell to the floor. I can hear the sounds of numerous students hitting the floor, the noises of students killing each other. Ezra has turned away from the sight, looking at the floor. I silently continue to watch the staircase. A student with a giant number for a head reached the top of the stairs at last. The exam is over. Knowledge and grades will be redistributed to students based on how high they are on the staircase. The top 20% will be designated as the scholarship class and receive the honor of representing our school. With a flash, the school returned to normal. The students were all in their seats as if nothing had happened. I can see Meryl among them. Meryl, are you all right? Ezra ran toward Meryl to check on her. Meryl gave us a blank stare, muttering meaningless words. She's had everything taken from her. This is absurd. It was a consequence of Meryl's own choice. There's no need for you to feel guilty about it. But let's just head back. We couldn't solve this distortion. We can't expect to solve every problem in the world. I took out my pipe from its inner coat pocket. Why are distorted people all so irrational? They're all too extreme. They distort because their minds are driven into a corner, Ezra. That impatience leads to leaps in their logic. 40% of this school's graduates are said to be living in seclusion, having failed to enter any college. However, the scholarship class demonstrated an unprecedented amount of successful admissions to prestigious universities, bringing the school fame and many more inquiries for entrance. The students who have successfully climbed up the stairs, killing each other, will grow into the feathers of the wings. Fluttering those wings, the city soars. Goddamn. Okay. I think we will read chapter 6 and then we will end it on that note. Just one moment, please. Clearing pings, because being pinged is apparently my fucking life's duty. Okay. We have 1 month until we leave for District 11. I've accepted taking Han Hee-jun's offer to be an effective truth at this point, and I imagine it will be a long trip. We might never come back, even. We're shopping at the Workshop Boulevard today. That means we also get to eat outside, right? We're not going there for leisure, Ezra. I know. Our purpose of visit is to request the workshops for the equipment and gadgets we need in our office. Ezra spoke with excitement. This could be our very last chance to shop. I know that too. We gotta leave in a month. You can stay here if you want to. I just can't let you eat. I just can't let you eat all the treats down there by yourself, though. The workshops in the boulevard treat various necessities and supplies, as well as equipment for fixers. Therefore, it's important to pick the right workshops according to your needs. Of course, workshops try to advertise themselves as well. Some become known through word of mouth. Despite how complicated it can be to navigate the products at a workshop, I don't expend any effort toward looking for adequate workshop goods myself. My assistant Ezra here is a maniac for workshop products. She seems to have a peculiar tendency to prefer more expensive workshops, but she does a lot of research on various gears and gadgets, and the ones she purchases end up being quite reliable. She's pretty much stuffed her personal collection of gadgets in the dimensional bag by now. Detective! The workshops I frequent are all sold out or out of request slots. I wonder what's up. I don't know. Maybe the fingers are out wreaking havoc on some place we haven't seen. So, have you failed to get any of the equipment we wanted? Yepper, I have. We're not going to get the gadgets in time if I request for them any later, Ezra mumbled. I walked the streets, believing that things will work out anyhow. Detective! Behind us! Yes, a bunch of nuisances are after us. Could they be from a syndicate? Maybe an office of fixers, or perhaps a wing. Whichever they may belong to, they're all essentially the same. They want to extract information from me. Well, to have a friendly chat with the fellows following us into the streets like this, we need to go deeper into the alleys. We slowly walk through the complex alleyways, intertwined in like a maze. Steel doors are lined up on the walls, guarding residences that don't appear to be well maintained. The time is noon. The noise of pedestrians fades away, while the footsteps of our pursuers become louder. We've arrived at a dead end, an empty lot. This is our favored spot for conversations. An obscure corner in the streets with no witnesses, and even if a witness were to exist, they wouldn't be able to go anywhere from here. Now, what could you be wondering about, my friends? So much as to follow us all the way out here. I took out my pipe from its inner coat pocket and held it between my lips. It's a lot of people. I'm seeing around 30 of them. They're all wearing green suits. The distortion doesn't seem too bad. All of them are holding weapons like bats and knives. One in a green fedora walks up to us and starts speaking. Are you Moses, the fixer from Cookie Street? Yes, I am, I answered with a smile. We'd like to purchase that long smoking pipe you're carrying. This was unexpected. Someone already has intel on my pipe. For how much? Ezra asks with sparkling passion in her eyes. 100 million on. Nay, this thing's worth at least 500 million. There's no way we're negotiating for a price that low. Right, detective? Ezra said in a rather disappointed tone. Not even 500 million on could buy it. This is essentially part of me, you see. I never fathomed the idea of selling it to anyone. Who told you about this pipe, by the way? That's unfortunate. We were looking forward to a graceful trade. The one in the fedora walked back and blended into the group. Ezra, can you handle them all on your own? Yes, Chief. Yes, Chief! Ezra yelled as she put her dimensional bag on the ground. Street combat loadout! In response to Ezra's command, the Nestor hammer flew into her hand as she got equipped with Alice workshop gloves. The group of 30 people started charging at us all at once. Ezra blocks off the cramped passage to the empty lot by herself as she takes on the gang one by one. Alice workshop gloves can accelerate the movement of her hands by 5 times the velocity. Activating the gloves, she swings her Nestor hammer, a small, one-handed hammer suited for combat in confined spaces, such as the alleyway we're in right now. You know what? I think that I know what we need for this. We need a little bit of da-da-da-dun-da-dun. Yes, sir. Dun 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 dun. The hammer is capable of delivering impact to a large area of the object its head comes into contact with. When the Nestor hammer hits one hoodlum in green with such accelerated force, it punches a wide hole through his chest. She violently swings her other hand to crush the jaw of another ruffian rushing at her. She breaks the bones and smashes the flesh of one mobster at a time, but not even her superior physique could impede all of them from getting through the passage. Most of all, Ezra is not being serious in the first place. Please let me take care of the ones I missed, Detective. I'm cutting your salary. What? I let out a crimson red breath. The smoking pipe emitted a scarlet glow before assuming the shape of a sword. I grabbed its handle and prepared to talk. I positioned myself and stabbed the blade into the neck of a thug running at me. With elegance and composure in every step, I puncture a red hole in the body of each gangster coming at me. The strong scent of blood soon filled the alleyway and the lot. Detective! That fedora guy is trying to run away! Ezra yelled at me, her body covered in blood. Man, a hell of a detective office we are. I breathed a violet breeze into my pipe. The pipe began flailing around as it elongated. It soon shifted into a whip with purple thorns growing out of it. I lashed out my pipe to snatch the ankle of the person in fedora. They stumbled and fell flat on their face into a pool of blood. Ezra drags the fallen mobster and drops him in front of me. Tell me, who gave you the information about my pipe? I was trying to avoid using it too often so I wouldn't draw unnecessary attention. I'm afraid I cannot say. Ezra, go have some nice heart-to-heart talk with this fellow. Leaving the interrogation to Ezra, I smoked alone in the empty lot. How moody of you, Moses. Not so long after... Well, I think we won the fight. Goddamn. Easy clap. Not so long after, Ezra came back with the person whose face was now mashed pretty badly. Detective, this one seems to have a lock on their brain or something. I can't get them to spill the beans no matter what I do. I lifted the head of the mobster and took a look at the back of their head. The tiny logo of J-Corp is branded on it. Indeed. Indeed. It's locked with a singularity. The client must have spent quite a bit of money. Still, there's a way as long as it's not the most expensive type. I exhaled a white puff through the pipe. The smoke coils around the mobster's body. Now, take a deep breath in. They began to tremble as they inhaled the smoke. You're not acting out of your own will anymore. You're obeying my will. The lock will obstruct your thoughts no longer. They slowly began to speak at last. Uriah Atelier wanted to study the mechanisms of that pipe. Said it's okay for us to kill as long as we brought the thing. Ezra's eyes were wide open, shocked by what she just heard. Ezra, do you know anything about Uriah Atelier? Of course! It's a premium workshop only accessible to people with their membership. It's probably one of the top 10 workshops in District 14, I think? The workshop maniac's eyes sparkled as she gave me the explanation. Then why couldn't we join that membership? The conditions are a bit tricky. I don't think they'd accept us. They want to study the mechanisms of my smoking pipe, huh? I'm interested in learning how this thing works as well. Do you think that workshop could provide us with the gear we need? Yeah, you bet. They most certainly have the skills. Ezra, lead me to this Uriah Atelier. Let's say hello to whoever tried to get us killed, and take this thug with us just in case. And just like that, we come to our close. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm having fun with Distortion Detective. It's kind of a bop read, not gonna lie. It really is. It's got it's interesting. I think it has very solid pacing while also being a bit oddly paced in its own way. 'Cause let's go into it a little bit. I really wish that we had speaker notations. That is like my one complaint about it thus far, right? Speaker notations would immediately like pop it up to like a solid A tier read for me so far. Because aside from it being a P-Moon material, it is well written and well translated. It's not like it's not as if it doesn't make sense. It's not as if it's poorly written or poorly translated either. The main thing about it is it's cool to get further context into the characters, since I mean, I just didn't have a whole lot of reference other than some vague things that I heard from Frey during discussions of Distortion Detective. So it's interesting. My thought process currently on it, right? I know of some of the events that happen in Distortion Detective. Obviously, we need to eventually come to the point of which we are meeting Vespa. We also need to come to the point of which we meet the there's a blood fiend of some sort that Moses crosses, which had a large scale fight and like moral dilemma attached to it. And that is very curious to me as well, for a number of reasons. It's just interesting though, because the thing about that, right? The thing about that is I just wonder in which way Ezra and Moses interact with it. Because so far from the interactions we've been seeing in Distortion Detective with these, 6 chapters that we've read, I definitely do get the core tenets of their character from what's being written, but there's also a degree of separation that I'm getting. And in all honesty, that could simply be due to the fact that they have since grown from the start of the story to where they are in Limbus Company. By the end of Distortion Detective, they could be largely different people, and thus that would be why their manner of speech, some certain derelictions of their personality have changed slightly, and that explains how and why they are the way they are in Limbus. Especially adding in that we have the dynamic of Vespa, which is an additional member to their team. That dynamic automatically changes the way that things kind of go and the pace that Ezra and Moses have within their interactions. So it's interesting. It is. I am definitely excited though to read more. It is. I am definitely excited though to read more. It is. I am interesting. Let's pause the music. And I'm going to test for my fan so that I am not getting, so I'm not getting any feedback from my fan with my mic, because I feel like I'm getting a little bit of it, and I feel bad. Okay, testing, 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 testing. Are we getting in now? Okay, that seems a lot better. Hopefully that mutes whatever fan was coming through for you guys. I'm sorry that you were dealing with that if you were dealing with it. Okay. But yeah, I think with chapter 6 read and finished, we will call stream here. Very excited to, in another week, get our hands on Rien and try him out for MD proper. Because I think it'll be kind of dope. But, yeah. I appreciate you guys that are still here for coming on out. Thank you guys, as always, for showing up, supporting me. Means the world. I think I might just have to reconfigure my goddamn bot for the tea advertisement, though, because it has not been going out as much as I think it should be. But yeah, thank you guys for dropping in. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. I will be back again on Friday and Saturday, per usual. Please drop in on those days if you so please and hang out with us. Should be a good time. Take care. Deuces.